Having a security system in your house is probably something that all of us would love to have, but it hasn't always been easy or accessible to everyone. Traditional alarm systems would have you phone up a professional installer and they'd have to come around and rip up half of your house in order to run wires all over the place. But times have moved on and alarm systems have gotten much easier to install. And thanks to Boundary for sponsoring this video, we're going to show you how easy it is to install one of their wireless security systems to protect your property in this brand new home. So let's take a look at what you get when you order your Boundary system. So it arrives in this nice cardboard box. It's completely 100% recyclable. And it does say on the side that this box is for some very smart people. That's funny, I do like that. And then opening the system. So these options or these packages from Boundary are available in a couple of different options. So you get a small package, a medium package and a large package, and you can obviously customize your own packages too, add your own sensors and tailor it to your specific house. This is the medium package that we have here. They have really focused on making it super simple and easy to use and for anyone to actually install it, so we'll see just how easy that is. There are a couple of stickers you get with it, so you can put them up on your windows to let people know that you're protected by Boundary, as well as a setup guide. We'll maybe take a look at that in a little bit. And then inside you get all of your devices and sensors. So the one that we have, or the top one here, is the Boundary Hub. And the good thing about the Boundary system is it is all completely wireless, and it uses Z-Wave as its method or its protocol to actually transmit or send information between the hub and the sensors itself. So using Z-Wave, that does mean that it's encrypted end to end. So this is the Boundary Hub itself. You'll see it does have a keypad on the left-hand side, as well as a nice large display. And you'll also see that there is a spot for NFC tags at the bottom. So Boundary do offer NFC tags, which we do have in this medium kit. So the medium kit we have here is the hub itself. You get 4 motion sensors, 2 contact sensors, 2 NFC tags, and a Siren, and that comes in at $4.99. And the packages are available with and without the outdoor Siren, so you can choose whichever one you want. And you can also add and remove however many sensors and different things like that as you want. So this is the hub. It's got a keypad as well as NFC entry, a nice display so you can see if the alarm is set or unset. And as well as that, you also get a battery backup as well as cellular options in the hub itself. So if your power does get cut to the hub, it will have 12 hours of battery backup inside the unit itself, which is actually a pretty long time, as well as cellular. So you can choose to have cellular if you want to use the 4G option. And that just means that if your Wi-Fi ever gets cut off, you don't lose access to your security system, or a thief can't cut off access to your internet and get around the system that way. So it'll always have connection back to Boundary, and you can always get alerted if your system does ever go off. Also inside the box is the power supply for the hub itself. That is the only bit about this system that is powered, is you do have to have this plugged into power. It uses USB Type-C, which is really nice, and you also get some wall mounting hardware too. There is a desk option or a desk stand, which we'll take a look at in a second if you just want to mount this on a desk and you don't want to actually put it up on your wall. You do need to have it wired or screwed into the wall if you want to have their police monitoring service. Obviously, so that someone can't just walk into your house or break into your house and walk away with the alarm. So that's why you have to have that screwed in if you have the police monitoring option. Next up, we have our sensors and fobs. So that's inside this box here. And you'll see that it's full of different motion sensors and contact sensors. So this is the Boundary motion sensor, and you'll see that inside of each box you get little setup tips which tell you exactly where to position the sensor for the best performance and how to actually connect it and things like that, and things what to stay away from when you're picking your mounting position, because you do actually want to make sure and pick your spots correctly when you're mounting these, because some spots in your house will be better than others. For the motion sensor itself, these have a 1-year battery life, and the batteries are nice and easy to replace. You just stick these up using the included hardware. They just stick up to the wall. You don't have to screw them in. You can just use the double-sided tape that is included. So these are PIR sensors rather than just a regular motion sensor, which uses infrared to pick up heat spots, and that's how it actually uses it to trigger. And they also have tamper protection built in so that you can't just use a heat jamming device in order to fool these in. They also have tamper protection if you try and remove them from the wall or try and do anything like that, it will also alert inside of the boundary system. So that is the motion sensor. Let's take a look at the contact sensor itself. And these are pretty simple. Again, we have the nice little easy tips to install it that you'll see inside the box. That makes it super easy for anyone to really install it, and it can't really go too wrong. And then again, you'll have 2 bits to the contact sensor. So this bit goes on your actual door frame, the bit that doesn't move, and then this bit will go on the door itself, which opens and closes. And when these come in close contact, it will realize that the door is closed. And when they open, it will obviously trigger the alarm or realize that the door is open. Again, super easy to mount these. Again, they have a 1-year battery life, same as the motion sensors, and they also have tamper protection built in too. If someone tries to actually remove them from the door, then this will alert in the boundary system. Okay, next up we have the key fobs, which are also included in the medium package. And you get a pack of 2 with the medium package, and they look a little bit like this. Just attach them onto your key ring, and then whenever you come in or walk into your house or you're leaving your house, you can simply tap these on the hub itself, and that will alarm and also disarm the gateway. If you don't want to use the tags or you want to have somebody else come in, then you can use the regular old keypad to arm and disarm the alarm. But these key fobs are really handy and make it super quick to alarm and disarm the app. Now, of course, Boundary does have an app that goes along with this entire system, which is part of what makes this whole system a smart alarm rather than just a traditional alarm. And there's a few different levels of subscription that you can go for depending on your functionality and your needs. So they have a free version which gives you basic access to the app and being able to see the status of your alarm and that type of functionality. And then the next one up is a smart plan, which is $9.99 per month, and that gives you access to things like geolocation, being able to do geofencing, as well as some other functionality. And then the next plan up from there is the Pro plan, I think it's called, and it allows you access to 24/7 police dispatch as well as monitoring. And that is sort of reserved for a professional install. So the one we're doing is the DIY install, but if you do want to have access to that police monitoring and police dispatch, which is coming in Q1 of this year, then you're going to want to go for the Pro plan as well as have the professional install done. So the other thing that we get inside this kit is also the hub stand, which allows you to mount the Boundary alarm or the Boundary hub on a stand so that you don't have to actually screw it into your wall. So this is really nice if you have like a unit just inside your front door, or you have a desk or somewhere like that and you want to actually mount your alarm on that, and it will kind of just sit on your desk and allow you easy access to that panel. The other thing we also get inside the box with this particular kit is the outdoor Siren, which is a big unit. And this basically goes outside of your house and screws into the wall. And anytime your alarm goes off, this is going to send out a 95 decibel alarm outside of your house to warn off any potential intruders, as well as let other people in your neighborhood know that your alarm is going off and something is wrong. So you do actually have to screw this one into the wall. Obviously, no just sticking it up with double-sided tape or anything like that. We're not going to be doing it on this house because I don't want to be responsible for screwing into the wall on someone else's house. This guy also has a 1-year battery life, so it is wireless in that aspect. And it also has a LED on the side so that you can see when the system is armed as well as disarmed. The blue LED on this will come on at 7 p.m. at night, and then the red LED will come on anytime that the alarm is actually active. And apparently this is one of the biggest deterrents to thieves, is having one of these on your house, outside of your house, to keeping thieves away should they actually be patrolling your neighborhood looking for potential targets. So that is actually a really nice addition to have. And I do like that this is wireless and uses Z-Wave also. Okay, so we're just going to connect the Boundary system to the Boundary app. And as soon as you turn on the gateway itself, where you plug it into power, you'll see that it immediately pops up and displays Wi-Fi networks that you can then connect it to. And I didn't actually realize this, but it is in fact a touchscreen, which makes it really handy, and it's actually quite a nice display, as well as the keys are actually backlit themselves so you can see them in the dark. That's actually quite nice. So let's go ahead and enter some Wi-Fi details. Once the hub's connected to Wi-Fi, all you need to do is connect it into the Boundary app. So I asked you a few questions like if you're installing it yourself or if you've booked a pro installation. We are pro DIYers, so we'll just tick we're installing it ourselves. And then it asks you for the pairing code, which is also being displayed on the hub itself. So go ahead and enter that. and instantly it came up and showed that the alarm is connected. So we've now successfully added the boundary alarm to our system, and we can just create a pin code. And this pin code is what you will enter on the keypad itself if you ever want to arm and disarm the alarm using that code. So we'll go ahead and just set 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. Obviously we will change this when the final install goes in. Re-enter that. And now it's asking if we want to add some rooms. So you can actually go ahead and enter the rooms that you have available in your house. So if you have a living room or a kitchen, whatever, and where you're placing your sensors, and you can do that here. Let's go ahead and set up, say, a living room, and we'll also set up maybe a kitchen. What else have we got? We'll also enter a hallway, and that'll do for now. And now we are ready to pair some devices into the system. So we'll just go ahead and grab a motion sensor. So it's going to take you step by step on how to actually connect your sensors. So with the motion sensor, you can literally just slide down the cover and you'll see a little QR code on the inside, which you then scan with your phone. So on my phone, it's asking me to scan a QR code. So scan that QR code. And now it's telling us to actually remove the battery tab from the sensor itself. So we'll go ahead and just pull out the battery tab, and that should now turn on the sensor itself, and it should hopefully be picked up in the inside of the Boundary app. So we'll give that a few seconds just to show up. And there we go, that is instantly paired with the Boundary app. That took like 20 seconds or so. Before we pair the rest of our devices, actually, there's another screen that shows up. So we can go ahead and give the sensor a name, which I've done, and then you can actually assign it to the rooms as we defined in our previous step. So I'll select kitchen, and then you'll see that you do get two options with the motion sensors in particular. So you can turn the LED on or off, and that allows you to turn off this blue LED that shows in the motion sensor when motion is detected. And that's useful for, like, if you have it in a bedroom where you don't want the LED to go off when it's dark, potentially interrupt your sleep. And the other option is you can select it to be on entry or an exit route. So we can select those options here. I'll disable the LED on this one and select it as an entry or an exit route. Hit save, and that is now added. And we're going to go ahead and now pair or add the rest of the devices to the system, and we can go ahead and chuck them up on the walls. We're just going to do a walkthrough and kind of figure out the best places to put our motion sensors to try to get the best coverage. Because there are actually a few things you need to be aware of when you're placing motion sensors to get the best results from them. So the first thing you need to be aware of when you're placing motion sensors, for example, if we come into this room, we have 4 corners of the wall, so 4 potential locations for these motion sensors. But if we look over to these walls here, you'll see that they aren't a very good position to put the motion sensor because it faces a window, and anybody walking in front of the window outside could potentially trigger it, as well as heat tends to fluctuate in front of windows throughout the course of the day. So that leaves us with these 2 walls over here. Both are decent options, but we'll probably go for this one on the left-hand side so that it's looking out into the corridor and kind of gets a bit extra coverage through there, as well as it's not catching the top of the door. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and put this up on the wall. When you're placing these sensors sort of on the roof, you need to make sure that they're about just over 2 meters, about 2¼ meters from the bottom of the ground, as well as a minimum of 5 centimeters from the top of the roof, and that'll give you the best results. You'll see that these motion sensors are actually square. They've got a squared off edge, and that helps to get a very secure placement on the wall. And there's 4 places for sticky pads, which are included in the box, or you can mount them with screws, but we're going to use the sticky pads. And you stick these on, stick them to the wall, and that's you pretty much done. The contact sensors are easier to position. The only thing you need to make sure you are aware of is the gap in between the sensors when the door is closed. So you need to have these within about 2½ centimeters or so in order for them to register that the door is actually closed. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and stick these up on the door, something a little bit like this. All of our sensors are now paired, so we've put up our motion sensors and our contact sensors on the door. Let's take a look at the app and some of the features that it offers. So this is the app home screen, and you'll see all your rooms are split out, and right at the top it says that our alarm is disarmed. Obviously that will say armed when it is. And then we have our rooms, so we're split up by kitchen, hall and living room. That's the locations that we've put our motion sensors and our contact sensors for now. And it says that each of them are secure. And then down at the bottom we have the hub. And if we move do a little bit of movement so that the contact sensor triggers, you'll see that the kitchen is now triggering, and we can tap into it, and it also shows us our devices that are in that room, and then we can select the individual device and it'll come up and tell you a bit more information about the device. So it tells us which room it's in, if it's an entry or an exit route that it's connected, the LEDs on and things like that. The other thing I was actually really surprised about that I didn't know was a feature of this, and I just found this out literally now, is that the sensors have temperature sensors built in them too, which is really nice. So you can see that our kitchen is at 19.2 and our hall is at 17.7 degrees. So that is a really nice addition to be able to have the temperature sensors in there. Also, again, we can tap into the hub and it'll show us more information about the hub, and we can see our battery has been charging for a little bit now, so that's at 95%, and it tells us the status and if the alarm is on panic mode or not. So really simple to use, and you've also got this arm button right at the bottom, and you can set the away mode, or you can also set night mode for if you want to have different presets available to you there. If we go over into the settings, you'll see a bunch of different settings. Some of the ones that we're looking at here, we can tap in and see all of our sensors just at a glance there, or we can go ahead and click on our Key Fobs button. So what I'm going to do is actually just pair the key fob. So we select our user and then hit add, and then simply tap or hold the key fob on the hub for a few seconds, and that is it now paired. And what you can actually do is simply hold the key fob onto the hub for a second, and it'll come up asking you if you want to arm the alarm. We're going to just hit continue, and then that'll start counting down. It first checks all the sensors to make sure none of them are actually open, and then it'll start arming the alarm. You've got about 45 seconds to exit the building before the alarm is set, and then afterwards that is it done. Let's go ahead and quickly check out how fast it is to actually trigger when you open the door. So we'll go out, set the alarm, and then I'll come back in and we'll see how quick it is to actually react. And you will see in just a few seconds the alarm does react. That was actually really quick, so we should just be able to tap the key fob on it and the alarm is now deactivated. So that was really quick to actually respond to the door opening. As soon as I opened the door, the alarm responded, and then yeah, just a quick tap of the key fob, or you can punch in your code and then the alarm will be disabled. Okay, I wasn't going to test this, but I feel like we have a duty to the audience to test the outdoor siren indoors. I have a feeling this is going to be very loud, so probably cover your ears. Here we go. Okay, 8 seconds left. That was loud. Still ringing. I'm going to be hearing that for days.
Your boundary alarm system has been triggered by Central Hub at Sam's home. Please open the Boundary app to review the alerts.
Okay, so that is another feature of the smart plan that we have, or the smart subscription with the Boundary system, is that they will actually phone you if your alarm goes off. You can add up to 3 card holders or key holders. They will automatically phone you as soon as the alarm triggers. So as soon as I walked in that door and the alarm went off after 30 seconds and the siren was going off, they were trying to phone me, and they sent me a text message also just to let me know that the alarm had actually went off. Another cool thing about the gateway itself is that you can actually see the history of the alarm. So you can see that the backdoor contact just triggered the alarm, and we can tap to get rid of that. And it also tells us things like if a device has been opened or tampered with, and you can go in and see those messages here, and it tells you exactly which device it was and what the sort of failed, or sort of the message it's trying to alert you to. So we can get rid of those, clear that one, and it gives you the next one, backdoor contact, intruder detected, and you can just go through and keep clearing down those alarms. You can also do other things like partially set the alarm from in here, set which rooms you want to set or exclude. And also, if you want to omit any devices or any rooms, say you have a pet friendly zone or a pet room, then you can select that to omit that from the alarm so that it doesn't keep alerting. You can also do other things like go through and run tests on the system. So you can do a walk test, tamper test, siren test, which we don't want to do right now. I'm going to be hearing that for days. And then finally, you can also go in and see information about all of your devices, which ones you've got paired, and then you can see all that information in there too. Some other cool security specific features of Boundary are the geofencing capabilities, which if you had those enabled will automatically send you a notification when you leave your house asking if you want to instantly set the alarm. Great feature to have if you're in a rush and you forget to set it. And it can also do the same thing at night time by sending you a notification asking if you want to set your nighttime alarm too. It's also got configurable zones allowing you to create different presets for different scenarios that only include certain rooms and certain sensors, and that's good for if you have pets and you want to create a pet safe area in your house. And speaking of pets, also the motion sensors have a pet mode that disables them for any animals less than 35 kilos, which is a great feature to have for reducing the number of false positives. Finally, as mentioned, there is the 24/7 police monitoring if you get the Pro subscription, and that includes the level 1 immediate police response. And also in that Pro plan, you get some other great features like occupied home simulation, which is also really good if you are away on holiday, as well as free battery replacement for all of your sensors and devices. In terms of integrations with other smart home platforms, Boundary works with Google Assistant, Alexa, and Samsung SmartThings. Home Assistant also works and is supported. It does use the Samsung SmartThings integration to do it at the moment, which is via the cloud, but I have been on a call with the head technical engineer at Boundary, and like myself, he is a fan of local control, and they do plan to add a native local Home Assistant integration as soon as possible. There is just some challenges to overcome first because this is a grade 2 alarm system, and they need to make sure it's all implemented properly and they abide by the grading certifications. HomeKit is also on the roadmap for this year too, so that is all some very good features still to come. So that is how easy it is to install and get up and running with Boundary. Honestly, that was incredibly easy to get up and going. We did that in like, what, an hour or so, and we were filming and setting up everything. So it really takes no time at all. And as we saw, this alarm has a lot of really great features, with more planned in the future. This is probably the easiest alarm system that I've ever set up, and I was genuinely impressed at all of the little nice touches that they have added to this system to make it simple for anyone to install. If you would like to pick up one of these alarm systems for yourself to integrate with your smart home for that extra peace of mind, then make sure to use code ESH at checkout to get 45% off any order, and we will have that all linked down in the description, of course, if you guys are interested in that. Other than that, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Do make sure to give this video a like and get subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.